Leo, talk to me about the audience. Tonight, I saw you go and shake hands and sign autographs for every fan that was waiting out there. I mean, do you get used to that? You know, that kind of fanfare and that kind of love and appreciation?
Do I get used to it?
Yeah.
It's not a part of my everyday life, but I was actually incredibly surprised at the turnout here.
Leonardo DiCaprio isn't just the guy from Titanic, The Departed, or The Great Gatsby. He's also a serious art lover with an incredible collection that would make any art enthusiast drool. Curious to see how impressive his art collection is? Let us reveal it for you. While we usually see him rocking a laid-back look, pants, a baseball cap, and that casual vibe, he's anything but casual when it comes to his art. DiCaprio has been spotted all over at major auctions and art events like Art Basel, looking for the next great piece to add to his collection. He even teamed up with Christie's in 2013 to run an auction that raised awareness for the climate change. That's where he snagged some serious pieces from big names like Takashi Murakami, Ed Ruscha, and Jean-Michel Basquiat. So, how did young Leo get introduced to the world of art? Let us break it down for you. Leonardo DiCaprio has always had a special connection to the world of art, even before he was born. Not only was he a talented actor and a passionate environmentalist, but he's also a serious art enthusiast. Believe it or not, Leo was named after one of the greatest artists of all time, Leonardo da Vinci. The story goes that Leo's mom decided on his name when she felt the kick for the first time while admiring Da Vinci painting at the Uffizi Gallery in Florence. It's like he was destined for an art-filled life from the very beginning. Also, thanks to his dad, who was big in the underground comic scene, young Leo grew up surrounded by cool arts from guys like Robert Crumb and Robert Williams, which clearly rubbed off on him and sparked his love for unique, off-the-wall pieces. Leo's not just a casual observer, he loves hitting up art fairs too. Back in 2020, he made an appearance at the first ever Freeze LA, trying to keep it low-key in a hoodie and baseball cap. But let's be real, you can't hide Leonardo DiCaprio. His presence obviously attracts attention, with plenty of art lovers sharing snaps of him all over Instagram. He's also become something of a muse in the art world. In 2019, artist Urs Fischer created a life-size wax model of Leo and his parents for an exhibition at Gagosian, which was set on fire and slowly melted throughout the show. The sculpture, made in a Swiss foundry, shows two versions of Leo, one chatting with his dad and another hugging his mom, connected like conjoined twins, rendered in soft white and pinks. The sculpture has been set on fire, with black wax slowly melting down on Leo's hair and t-shirt, creating a dynamic visual effect. Fischer, who has known Leo for years, was intrigued by the idea of capturing a more personal side of the actor. He convinced Leo and his parents, who divorced when Leo was a year old, to meet in Los Angeles, where he used an optical scanner to capture their interaction. Back in his studio, Fischer struggled to find the right composition but eventually chose to keep Leo's parents separate in the piece. Leo has also posed for artist Elizabeth Peyton a few times. Her painting of Leo with a swan is definitely a fascinating spectacle that one would love to gaze at. So yes, Leo does have an established connection to the world of art. But what about his own collection? Let's take a look. Just to give you an idea, Leo owns works by big names like Frank Stella, Takashi Murakami, Jean-Michel Basquiat, and Ed Ruscha, just to name a few. Who knows, maybe even snag a new piece or two at Freeze LA. DiCaprio has always been a huge fan of artists like Basquiat and Andy Warhol, and he even checked out Warhol's exhibition at the Brand Foundation in 2013, possibly picking up some Warhol works. In addition to modern art, Leo collects vintage movie poster from Hollywood's golden age. For instance, he bought a Metropolis poster for $690,000 back in 2005. He also got a piece of Ed Ruscha, Todd Shore, and Mark Ryden, thanks to Robert Williams introducing him to LA artists. But one thing about Leo is that he doesn't just collect art, he's also used it to support causes he cares about. Recently, he expressed excitement about Urs Fischer's work, and he posed for a portrait by Elizabeth Peyton, which sold for $1 million at a charity auction. In 2013, he organized the 11th hour sales at Christie's to raise money for environmental causes through his foundation. The auction brought in nearly $40 million, featuring 33 works, some created especially for the event, and even set 13 world auction records. Talk about using art for a good cause. And if that wasn't enough, Leo's even produced a show about an artist. He teamed up with his dad, George DiCaprio, to introduce the Netflix documentary struggle, The Life and Lost Art of Zukalski. It tells the story of a Polish sculptor Stanislaw Zukalski, and is definitely worth adding to your Netflix queue if you're into art. Clearly, Leonardo DiCaprio's connection to the art world goes way beyond just passing interest. He's truly immersed in it, from collection to curating and even producing documentaries. Leo isn't just in it for flashy pieces, he's got an eye for what's hot and what's next. He's often seen behind the scene at major auctions, like Christie's Contemporary Art Sales or Sotheby's Impressionist and Modern Art Sale. where the bidding runs into the hundreds of millions, including a Pablo Picasso drawing from 1939 called Filet, some untitled Oscar Murillo pieces, Walton Ford's stunning The Tigris, and even a vintage film poster, Metropolis, by Heinz School's New Dumb. At their 2015 Art Wrestle event, DiCaprio managed to score Double Gray Scramble by Frank Stella, a 1973 piece with those bold geometric shapes that make Stella's early works so recognizable. He also has a knack for discovering new artists. Take Jean-Pierre Roy's piece, Nashlahi. DiCaprio spotted it on Instagram from a gallery in Copenhagen and quickly bought it at the Pulse Art Fair in New York. Then there's Ocean V by Andreas Gursky, a striking piece he acquired during an auction he organized to support his environmental nonprofit. And if that's not enough, he also has a thing for Japanese pop art. He spent $735,000 on Takashi Murakami's Mononoke at the same auction. Clearly, Leo is serious when it comes to vibrant, eye-catching art. His art collection also includes pieces that reflects his passion for the environment. Walton Ford's painting, which focus on extinct and endangered species, caught Leo's eye at an exhibition in Berlin, and they just clicked with his love of all things nature. And then there's Oscar Murillo, whose untitled drawings score big at Phillips' auction. Rumor has it that Leo was there, and he may very well be a mysterious buyer. Leo also has a soft spot for underground comics, a love that goes back to his childhood. Growing up, he was surrounded by these edgy cartoons thanks to his dad, and it wouldn't be surprising if he got some rare Robert Crumb pieces tucked away somewhere. One of Leo's first big buy was the untitled drawing by Jean-Michel Basquiat, one of the hottest names in the art world during the 1980s New York scene. DiCaprio's always been a fan of that era, with artists like Basquiat, Andy Warhol, and Julian Schnabel being his early influences. His collection isn't just about owning expensive pieces, it's a reflection for his genuine love for art and his sharp eye for what makes a piece so special. You'll often catch him at art events, chatting with dealers, admiring pieces, and maybe even throwing a sneaky bid or two. His passion for art is as intense as his love for acting, and there's no sign of him slowing down. His collection just keeps growing, filled with everything from classic masterpieces to the fresh finds. Leo's love for art has also landed him in some hot water. In a surprising twist, Leonardo DiCaprio had to hand over two of his prized paintings, a Picasso worth $3.2 million and a Basquiat valued at $9 million, thanks to a scandal involving the Malaysian government, a massive fund, and even 23 bottles of crystal for Lindsay Lohan's birthday. Sounds wild, right? Here's what went down. It all started with Malaysia's 1MDB fund, meant to boost the economy but ended up being looted for $4.5 billion by Prime Minister Najib Razak and his associates. They spent big on luxury properties, expensive arts, and even funded The Wolf of Wall Street, a movie about excess and fraud. The money was hidden through shell companies and offshore accounts. Enter Joe Low, a financier with ties to both the Malaysian government and Leonardo DiCaprio. Low gifted Leo a Picasso and a Basquiat after working on a movie together. But with the US Justice Department investigating, Leo handed over the paintings and fully cooperated to clear things up. What do you think about the art collection of Leonardo DiCaprio's? Do you wish that he gave us a tour of his favorite art pieces? Let us know in the comments below, and do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for fascinating stories.